Hey crew, it's Pitt and I am back with another reaction. Today we're going to be checking out a brand new drop from my boy Dax. Chris gave me the heads up to make sure I knew, and this is A Real Man from Dax. Let's dig in and see what's up.
Yeah, yo. Yeah, she says she wants a real man. One who opens up the door, holds her hand and still smiles when he feels bad. In control of his emotions, wears his heart on his sleeve, but don't get mad. One who gives her all his time, puts his dreams to the side and gets a real bag. Yeah, she says she wants a real man, but what she wants is not for real, man.
I'm about to say, like I was about to get a little bit upset. I ain't even gonna lie.
Realest story ever told. Can't have a man who's making money always home.
That is true.
Hard like a truck, that's why he's always on the road, providing everything you need to live the life you say you want. Can't have a man who wears his heart on a sleeve that won't rip once a while at the seams, especially if you never take the time to look into his eyes and hear him when he silently screams. Yeah, she says she wants a real man, one who opens up the door, holds her hand and still smiles when he feels bad.
We got a notice from the electric company.
In control of his emotions, wears his heart on his sleeve, but don't get mad. One who gives her all his time, puts his dreams to the side and gets a real bag.
Give me 2 more days.
Yeah, she says she wants a real man, but what she wants is not for real. That Disney movie that she wanted was a dream and not reality or something.
Right. There's so much going on in here, right? I bring a different perspective. Like I have a different way of looking at it than most people because I was once one of those guys talking about these working hands, right? Like I would never be on welfare and I would never take anything from the state. I'm going to work my ass off. And I was that dude, right? From the time I was 13 years old, I was working. I started building houses at 13. I ran my own crew at 15. I only worked on the weekends and in the summer because I was still going to school. I joined the Navy. I got out. I went into plants and I made money, right? I made good money until I got hurt. And then when you get hurt, your whole fucking vision changes. Everything in your life changes when you cannot any longer, right? I do this because I am trying. I'm still trying. I have been trying for the past 12 years to find a grind that I can actually do. I've got so many problems that it is hard. I make Social Security money. I'm on disability. That's what I do, right? All of the other things that I do are me attempting so desperately to try to get off of that. But I have been in the position where I cannot provide, where it's not even a physical possibility. I can't go work at the gas station because sometimes I've got to lay down for an hour just from breathing, just because I decided to breathe. Sometimes I have to lay down for an hour. And so I can't be the dependable person that can go into an office. I can't even do an office job. I can't even do the Blender and the Unreal stuff anymore. Right? My shoulder, I can't work the mouse. Isn't that wonderful? So I see it from a different point of view, right? I see it from the point of view of having to surrender all of the things that society says makes you a real man. Oh, you ain't working, you ain't a real man. You know how many times I've thought that to my own fucking self? You know how many times that's going on in here? You know how every time you go somewhere, you know that everybody is thinking, he's just fucking bullshitting. There's nothing wrong with him. It doesn't look like there's anything wrong with him. There's nothing wrong with him. It's just in his head. He's just laying out. He's just right. That's been my reality for 12 years. So I look at it a little bit differently, right? Me and my wife are a team. She had to go, right? She was already working, right? She works. We both worked for forever, but she stepped up when I couldn't, and she took on the role that I couldn't, and I took on the role that she no longer could, right? I'm a homemaker. I'm the guy that sits at home. I've raised my kids for the last 12 years. They came home. I cooked for them. I clean the house. I do the dishes. I wash the clothes. I do those things, right? So I see things different. I think a real man is the one that steps up into the position that he needs to be in, regardless of what it is. And I get upset when people talk about you're not a real man if you don't work, because some of us can't. And I know, oh, we don't mean you, but you do. You really do, right? When you talk about people on welfare, you're not talking about just people who don't want to. You're talking about people who can't. When you talk about people that don't have a job, some of them don't want to. That is absolutely true. Call them out. Laziness sucks. But some people can't, and so I look at it just a little bit differently. I know, I go off on rants. That's what I do.
Something that she got.
Hey,
Put
honey,
that
you
man
almost
up on a
home?
pedestal, discards him when she found out he was human and he dropped. He's not perfect, but
really backed
he
up today because
tries
we're
to
short-staffed.
live up to her beautiful lies.
It's fine. It's fine.
The
We
man
can always
he
do
wants
another
to
night.
on the inside him died. Yeah, she says she wants a
Do you want the bills paid? Like,
real man. One who opens up the door, holds her hand and still smiles when he feels bad. In control of his emotions, wears his heart.
but he's a real man because he is doing the thing, right? He is out there trying his hardest. That's what makes the realness. That's what makes the real man out of it, right? Now,
Hard on his sleeve, but don't get mad. One who gives her all his time, puts his dreams to the side and gets a real bag. Yeah, she says she wants a real man, but what she wants is not for real, man. Love is patient, love is kind, can be evil and also blind. God made man, then said in life, he'll find good things when he finds his wife. So as a real man, broken and confused, struggling, not knowing what to do, he dove to the bottom of the bottle, drowned in his sorrows, and prayed one day she would rescue. But stop pointing out all his mistakes, be the place he felt safe to express the emotions. The world said he can't, he's the rock that she needs, but she
I have a different view on this situation too. Because we as a society have decided that men cannot have emotions. And I have a big problem with that one too, right? We spend an awful lot of time on that one too. And this situation right here is because of failure to communicate. What we have here is a failure to communicate. Because fear is in the way, right? And he feels like if he is honest with her, then she's going to take advantage of his emotions. That's a very real thing. That's all blowed up on the internet today, right? I'm going to tell you something, and you're going to get your butt hurt behind it, and that's okay because that's kind of what we do here too. If you cannot talk with your woman about your emotions, then you are with the wrong woman. Period. The end. There is no more to that story. There's no semicolon. There's no comma. That is a motherfucking period. If you cannot be honest and open with your partner about your emotions, you are with the wrong person. If they ever hit you in the head with them, you were with the wrong person. And that is the lesson that you're learning. We have a tendency to jump into pretty, right? We have a tendency to jump into stable. We have a tendency to jump into the thing without paying attention to what is actually the thing, right? And by the thing, I mean relationships, not the body. And so we have a tendency to seek these specific characteristics that have zero bearing on actual reality, right? If you don't have a woman that is okay with you sharing your emotions, then you have a problem. If you can't handle your emotions, you have a whole separate problem. It's still a problem, right? You should never be violent. You should never be screaming. You should never do any of that. But you shouldn't have to hide yourself in a bottle because your wife won't listen to you. She sees the bills coming in and then bitches because you're working overtime. You're with the wrong woman. It is that simple. If you're not working together, if you're allowing money to come between a relationship, then you're in the wrong spot. Whoever's doing it, if it's you worrying about the money or if it's her worrying about the money, whoever is doing it, if the money is over your relationship, you're in the wrong spot. The person that you choose to spend the rest of your life with, the person that you choose to be your partner, should be able to fully support you. And you should know that before you sign the paperwork. You shouldn't jump into a relationship. You shouldn't stick in a relationship just because you get your dick wet every once in a while. If you're not in a partnership, something's wrong and you need to start communicating today. Right? I know I've got different viewpoints than other people, and I'm okay with that, right? I'm probably going to get hammered in the well, you can't tell a woman your stuff. No, you're wrong. I can. I have the best woman on the planet, though. I readily admit that. But I can't even conceive of staying in a relationship where I can't tell my wife I'm scared. I can't tell my wife I'm worried. I can't tell my wife I don't know. I cannot conceive of that. That is so reprehensible to my spirit. I know that the other is there. I know that the other is possible. I could not possibly conceive of being with a woman I cannot share my emotions with. That's insanity to me.
She hammers away at the love that he has like she wants it to break despite all of the pain. Twisted and changed, trying to become the whole picture she paints till she woke up one day, said she's walking away, looked him dead in the face and then screamed. Yeah, she says she wants a real man, one who opens up the door, holds her hand and still smiles when he feels bad. In control of his emotions, wears his heart on his sleeve but don't get mad. One who gives her all his time, puts his dreams to the side and gets a real bag. Yeah, she says she wants a real man, but what she wants is not for real, man.
Dax dropped some truth on you, right? Some people are going to see this one way and some people are going to see it the other way, but I think Dax is on my side with this, right? I think that me and Dax are seeing eye to eye on this, and I could be wrong, but he's seeing what I'm seeing. You're not getting into a real relationship if this is the situation that arises from it. You are not entrusting your soul to someone worthy if this is the situation that arises from it. If you are arguing about money all of the time and there's no planning going on, you should never sit in complacency. Your partner should be pushing you to be better, but never in a bitter way, never in a nagging way, but in an encouraging way. God gave you a helpmeet, right? I'm talking to the boys because most of my audience is boys. It is what it is. God gave you a helpmeet, but he gave her one too, right? You're a partnership. You're a team. You come from the same flesh. You and her have chosen to forge your lives together. And if you cannot confide in your partner as you forge your lives together, you are on the wrong path. I will stand on that with both feet. I don't care who is screaming at me. If you cannot share your emotions with your partner, you are with the wrong partner. Chances are that if you feel like you cannot, it's in your head. That's not to say everybody. I know somebody just got really big mad, but chances are it is something that you are doing up here. You are creating unrealistic expectations. You are creating scenarios that possibly could never even happen, right? You are working on the anxious side of the spectrum, the worrying about the future. You have to commit yourself to the realness of the relationship. And again, I am talking to the guys because we have the problem with this, right? If you have chosen this person to be your person, then that is your person. Don't go flirting with people. Don't go talking to people. Don't go doing the things that are naturally what you are inclined to do. Spend your time and your energy on your partner, but make sure it's the right partner. I know I am hammering that so hard because we jump into convenience. We got a whole fucking app that we can swipe up, a bunch of them. You can just swipe and pick people. That is so terrible. You people out here sharing their souls because that is what sexual intercourse is. You are sharing your soul. You or the other person, y'all are changing each other's stuff. You're intermingling the creative forces of the universe, and you will forever carry a piece of that person with you. Not even in a sexually transmitted disease type of way, although that is a possibility that you should definitely be aware of. The act of sexual congress is sharing your soul. You don't want to be sharing your soul and anchoring yourself in reality to someone who has zero interest in you, who has nothing but dollar signs in their eyes, has nothing but provision in their mind. That is not what you want. You have a helpmeet out there, someone who will help sharpen you to the best tool that God can possibly use for whatever the situation may be. And you are that for them. You're not supposed to sit quiet while they do nothing, like while they ruin their lives because it's a woman and I might get my wiener wet, right? You and her are a team, and that is what defines a real man to me, right? I really get spun up behind the real man thing because where I sit, where I am, who I am, what I have to be, right? I don't get no choice in this until God changes me. And so I do get upset with it. I do. Especially if you're saying that, oh, well, you're not a real man, you're crying, or you're not a real man, you're sharing your emotions. And people are out there reinforcing that shit every day. And that is the surest way to ensure that we get destroyed. It is destroying the fabric of our society. This tearing apart of the masculine male. It is okay to cry. I don't care who tells you any different. That's not to say bawl your eyes out at every slight inconvenience, right? If it's sad, go somewhere and cry. You don't have to do it in front of everybody, but you should do it. It gets the poison out of your soul. Sadness is a poison just as much as jealousy and envy. I'm going to wrap this up because it's going long, and I love it, right? If it gets me talking, this is the song, right? I love this, Dax. I think we're on the same page, right? I think he is pointing out the hypocrisy in this, and I'm just doing the same thing. To the crew, y'all make sure y'all get back over to Dax's page, give him a like, share, and a sub, throw him a comment, and let him know you appreciate what he is doing, because I do. I do. To the crew, thanks for hanging out. I appreciate every single minute that you were here with me, and I am praying for you every single day. Until next time, I love you. God loves you. You are perfect, whole, and complete just the way that you are. This has been Pitt State. Peace.